Hey guys, so that was a little scary of an experience. That right there is what I call spiritual warfare. See, when you're a child of God or a messenger or a warrior, I mean, look at it this way, guys. I just explained in the last two videos how Jesus, I mean, how many clues does he have to give you guys before you get it through your heads that Jesus was me? Jesus was us. I'm saying as a whole, as homeless people. Jesus represented us, not you guys. So all these people in church talking about some prosperity gospel while they're wearing their Rolex, driving their Mercedes, does that make you happy? Living in the flesh, where are you going to take it? Is it going to get you that golden ticket into heaven? No. So I guess, guys, live it up for the few years you have left in this world. How many years? 20, 30, 40, 60? Either live it up here in this world and be famous and be well taken care of and well fed, or suffer. You don't necessarily have to suffer in this world, but all you people in the church, I'm just going to lay it out to you because you need to hear it. I'm tired of it. I'm taking a stand and I'm done. I'm sick and tired of all of you, and I'm going to tell you why. You are missing the whole point. You are the very reason that Jesus came to this world, to end the hate and the miserable negativity that you breed in the churches today. And what am I talking about? Do not judge, lest you be judged yourself. For all these churches to be talking about, gay people, it's not natural and they're going to hell. Who died and left you God? Leave that to God to decide. They are still children of God, whether they're gay, whether they're black, white, purple, pink, I don't care. You are not God. I don't care how inspired you are, how much of a prophet you are, you will never be God. So, I have tried to maintain my cool, and I have tried to respect some of these people in the church, and I still will respect them, but they need to finally open their eyes, open their ears, and listen, yes, to a homeless person, because Jesus was homeless. And that's what they're all missing. How many parables? How many messages? Okay, I don't remember Jesus being in a huge golden palace, dripping with gold, and people paying their tithings. No. That didn't happen, guys. There was no money involved. You know what a real church is? A real church is how Jesus did it, where he said, come follow me, and everyone went out there into a field, into a forest, wherever it may be, where no money was exchanged, where people gave, and where Jesus asked for the loaves and the fish, guys. It's not a literal story. Think about it. There's another great symbolic story where Jesus asked, and Jesus asked and you shall get, or you shall receive. Like when I'm hungry, and guys, there have been times where I've had to, you won't even know. Yesterday I'm eating chips with ketchup and cheddar cheese. Now, thank God for Sandy for bringing me out to lunch. And by the way, again, Sandy, thank you very much. Sandy, I want you to know that you have been being still, and you've been very patient with me. And, it's taken an entire year. And maybe it could take longer for some people to finally realize. Because remember, I've been asking you why God sent you to my life and why you're the only one that seems to care when no one else does. I think I'm beginning to understand that now. And it's so beautiful, actually, guys. It really is. So all of you out there, well, how come I don't get that, or trying to ruin it for me? You're never going to ruin it, because guess what? Sandy, or these people who know my heart, they know that I'm not that. They know I would never say those things. And they know that I don't have a mean bone in me. There's an understanding that Sandy and I have, not necessarily just Sandy, other people that have helped me. There's an understanding. They know. And I'm not saying they're better than you guys, but they just have something that you don't. They see something that you don't. Call it that they're ahead of you, because that's what I feel. Yeah, they are. They see something that you guys just either don't want to see or are too scared to see, maybe. Sandy did tell me that the other day, and I did listen to you, Sandy. So back to what I was saying. Jesus left so many clues, guys. Look at, I compare my life to it because think about it. Even his own disciples, like I look at the friends that I choose, that I constantly help, who stab me in the back or slap me in the face. Jesus had the same thing happen to him. Remember the disciples? That he chose his apostles? That he knew before he even chose them, guys, that they were going to betray him. I mean, how horrible is that? People that were supposed to be there. I've wanted that my whole life. To have just one person, guys, that would say, hey, Jamie or Jordan would never say that. Never. Like, if somebody would talk bad about me and they'd say, I know her, she would never say something like that. And I've never had that. And I don't think Jesus did either. He had people betraying him all the time, or putting a crown of thorn on his heads, or calling him crazy because he would heal people. Like, I know how Jesus felt, guys, because how long have I been telling? And again, I'm not Jesus. I'm not comparing myself to Jesus. What I'm comparing my life to is the fact that it took me losing everything to finally, and I'm still not as humble as I need to be. Sandy, you can attest to that. But did it take losing everything, guys, for me to finally realize what life was all about? People are just missing the whole point, and things, scary things are happening. I tried to send this video to Sandy. I tried to send it to another friend of mine. Do you know my camera just stopped working, guys? I got this rash. Like, I started looking up online. It's called spiritual warfare. It's where the closer you get to God, the enemy will attack you, and sometimes it's physical. It's scary. I got this overwhelming feeling, and you guys can call me crazy. I don't care. I want to tell you what happened. I got this rash. I lost my train of thought. My messages were blocked. I could not use my phone. I couldn't send simple YouTube videos. You can ask my friends. I'm not lying about it. Another video I sent to one of my friends, it had the audio on it, but it didn't have the visual. It just magically took it off because there was something on there I needed my friend to see, and it pertained to God. Isn't that crazy? So the devils, the evilness that's out there today, it's very prevalent. And guess what? Unfortunately, it's rearing and roaring and raising its ugly head in the churches today. Because guess what I figured out? And I guess it's just my opinion. See, these churches, and I'm not saying every church is like this, okay? But think about it, guys. It's all about money. If you want to be a real church, here's what I propose to you. You quit collecting donations. You shut down your office. You shut down the church. And you open a church like Jesus did out in a park where you guys, what's wrong with meeting once a week in a public park for an hour like you do at church? I wondered that. I often wonder that. What is so wrong with that, guys? Because the church are its people, not a building. But yet you guys continue to frequent. Do you want to know why I frequented the church that I went to before Margie died? Because she is the glue that kept that church together. And let me tell you something. That lady had the message down. Unfortunately, a lot of the other people there, and again, not naming any names, they don't. And they got a long way to go. I'm not saying they're not going to get there, but they don't know the things that that lady knew. I saw it in her. I felt it in her. Anyway, that's what amazes me, is that how people can be so different, even within the church, guys. So here we have the people in the church who, I don't know where they got so backwards with this prosperity gospel, and that if you praise God, do they really think that they're giving their all to God and praising God with the way they treat the homeless people, or the things they say about gay people, or the horrible judgment calls that they have, or when somebody comes to them because they're eating out of a dumpster and begs them for food, and they say, you got to go to church first to only go to the sermon or go to the church and hear, you're homeless and you're dirty and you're not getting, and you're being punished because of the horrible things you do. We already live a life of suffering. We don't get to go to movies. We don't get to do all the things that you guys do. So please, do we really have to sit through that? Instead of making us sit through that, why don't you give us words of hope? Songs of hope. Songs of forgiveness. Songs of acceptance. You know, instead of you guys thinking you're, that we're inferior to you, I think it's the other way around, guys. Because we're the chosen. I guess it's going to be a little too late. And all these things I've been trying to tell you, trying to drill into your guys' heads, but you're just too, I don't know what the word is. I don't know if you guys are blind, if you're just darn daft. I can't figure it out. But do you guys really think that with all the money you're collecting and all the websites you're putting on and, collect the donations, you're using us? They use us homeless people. I'm going to tell all of society, and I'm going to shout it on a mountaintop. This is what they're doing, in my opinion. Without us, they don't get the funding, as far as the funding that pours in or drizzles in from this account or from this, place. And I'm talking about churches. I want to make this very clear, Catherine. I don't think you're this way. Because there's a very dear lady, and I've already tested her. I'm going to tell you why. How do I know? Because I went to her in need several times and she has helped me. She's passed the tests. And not that I was testing you, Catherine, but you passed. She's real. She's the real thing. She cares. She's donated her own time. And that's what it says in the Bible. The whole parable, you guys, about the Good Samaritan was the fact that it was a comparison. The guy of the church who was dressed well and who ate well and who only fed the beggar Lazarus between 1:30 and 2 at his doorstep ended up going to hell. And why is that? The Good Samaritan, just like this property that I stay on, guys, that's a Good Samaritan. What is he getting out of it? And maybe I, protect the house, but think about it. He pays the electric bill every month. That's what the Bible says. He's sacrificing, taking something out of his pocket, something that could feed his mouth, his family, and giving it to me. And that's what God wants, guys. I mean, you guys have it so backwards. It's like when you give money to your family, to your friends, do you ask for a receipt? Do you say, oh, well, I can't give the homeless people this money because, they're going to go spend it on drugs and alcohol. You give it to give because God told you to give it. It's not important, and it's none of your business what they spend it on. Okay? Are you going to tell somebody who's living with cancer and who's dying of stage 3 cancer and who has suffered, been tormented? Well, they're not ignored and living on the outside, but that's how us homeless people are. It's of no wonder that some of them, and I'm not condoning it, do drugs and alcohol. If you knew how much we suffer and what we have to live through, there's something we need to use to escape. But if we had that normalcy, if we had that hand up, or if we got the housing like what I'm waiting for right now, that is a ray of hope. Or this job that they're giving the homeless. Thank you, Randy Keating. Thank you, City of Tempe. Thank you for everyone who's helped us, who's finally said, ha-ha. Maybe if we give, maybe if we help these people. But no, it's, we can't. And treating us like animals. You think that's going to get you anywhere or us anywhere? No. So it's quite amazing. Like, it's so funny. Like, it turned 2018. And Sandy, I want you to know this. I'm not just saying this video is for you, but my eyes, like, it's like things are flowing for me. Whereas, like, last year it was a little, boring, like, sketchy, but I can feel the Holy Spirit in me. I just can feel it. And this social experiment that I'm doing for the whole year, guys, I already have info. And I realize now it's not in my head. People say such rude things to me. Like, do they really think I'm that dumb? Like, when I worked at Jimmy John's, a lady said, no, I'm getting off on floor 2. You're getting off on floor 3. So make sure when I get off, like, talking to me like I'm 3 years old. I'm homeless. I'm not an idiot. Okay, I'm not. You churches, guys, give because you want to give. But I propose this to you. If you weren't getting your funding, if you weren't getting money from the people who came to your church, if you weren't getting paid to do the things you do, would you still do them? I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. Because it's a business. And I don't blame you. I'm not judging you. Hey, a church is a business. More power to you. Do it. If people are going to follow that and people are going to, in my opinion, be dumb enough to hand their money over, then go ahead, because that's my opinion. I'm not going to do that. Why do that? If somebody needs something, I'm going to give them the money directly, and that's what churches should do. Why are we lining the pockets of people who run the church? What, to pay the electric bill for what? When we could be having church out in the open. And I don't care if I'm offending any of you, because this is what Jesus wants you to know. Shame on you. Do you really think that you're set? Do you really think that you're going to heaven? Think about that, people. Do you? When you've said the horrible things that you've even said to me? When I've lived the life, I've experienced the hate, the pain, the torment that Jesus has. Not physically. Well, yeah, physically I have too. But that reading in the Bible that says, they hated me long before they hated you. Thank you, Jesus. Because think about it, guys. Did anybody listen to Jesus? They laughed at him and put a crown of thorns on his head. Does anybody listen to me? No. I'm a joke. I'm homeless. I've tried to talk to the people at the church. I've tried to talk to a lot of you, and I'm just ignored. It falls on deaf ears. But how long is that going to go on? I'm not doing this for me, guys. I already got the message. I'm doing it for you. Because believe it or not, I love each and every one of you. I got that bike back from the homeless person that I had to go down and get it, and it just felt so weird. I'm like, give me my bike back. But I felt so violated, guys. The fact that he not only stole it, but had it so close and was, like, flaunting it. Like, do people think I'm that stupid? Do I get that kind of disrespect? Or I get asked constantly, do you have a mental condition? Are you bipolar? How dare they? I mean, even if I was, who asked that? Which, by the way, I'm not. It's none of your business. But you don't come out and ask somebody that. Am I going to ask, oh, are you a pedophile? You have a kid. Are you a pedophile? Or, hey, do you have genital warts or AIDS? Guys, grow up. Keep treating the homeless people the way you do, because I realize now just how awful that is. Think about it, guys. Churches. Again, not saying every church is like that. But they don't get their funding unless we go there, guys. They use us to get the money and then put us on time schedules